Oh, my wonderful grandchildren. Well, sometimes we have to accept that reality is slapping us in the face. If you're born in a foreign country, there's nothing you can do about that. If you're of a certain race or sexual persuasion, whatever, and you don't like it, I mean, some things you just have to accept. I mean, the fact that in the next 2 weeks I'm going to be 78 years old, I really have to accept that. But I never really think of myself as an old person, except this week, two things happened to me and I got slapped in the face by being old. One is I have this new, like I teach and I talk about improvised weapons. So I got this carabiner and I put it on the thing. And my son-in-law saw that and he said, "What the hell is that, Bill?" And I said, "Oh, it's a carabiner and you can use it as brass knuckles." The hell are you doing? I said, "Well, it's self-defense." And I think, he goes, "Is anybody really going to attack somebody, an old man in their 70s? Now, I had never thought of it that way, but he did. So maybe it's not the way that I see myself, but it's as other people see me. So that was one kind of bang slap in the face that you're old. Then the next thing is, that I volunteer in the morning at a nursing home serving breakfast, and one of the people who runs the place came over and said, "Hey, Bill, we'll have a place here for you in 10 years." I go, "Oh, thank you very much, thank you." And I'm thinking, am I really going to be ready for a nursing home in 10 years? I mean, you think about it, I'm 78, you'd be 88, and you say, well, he's 88 and he's in a nursing home. That doesn't sound that unusual. I mean, I like to think of myself as my father. I hope I have his genes. I mean, he lived to be 97, and it was COVID that got him. I know that the isolation of COVID got my father, or he would have made it to 100. I mean, he was 93 years old, and he bought a new car. I mean, that's the kind of optimism that I want to have. And the thing that I learned from my father about longevity was you always have to be learning. You always have to be moving forward. You always have to be doing things like, I'm probably pretty terrible at speaking Spanish, but I have been taking Duolingo for the last 3 or 4 years, and I've got, 1,000+ days of learning their little 10-minute lessons. So, I mean, I'm trying to do that all the time. In my real estate business, I mean, the real estate brokerage end of the business has really changed. I mean, a lot of people they don't need brokers as much as they used to, and Zillow and all of these AI things. I mean, they really help people find and sell houses. So I said, well, I got to go back to doing what I was really good at doing 20 and 30 years ago, and that was buying and rehabbing and flipping condos. So, I mean, I just set up this thing to do that. And I was thinking, well, is this crazy? Well, why would starting a business at 78 or reinvigorating a business at 78? I mean, it's a way for me to do and to work and to have purpose and to, this is what I have to be doing. I have to have goals and objectives. 2 months ago, I was in Punta Cana, and I saw pictures of myself in the pool with my granddaughter, and I got the pot and the sagging boobs, and I'm like, oh my God, when I saw these pictures, I said, Bill, you really let yourself go. So I said, well, what do I want to do? So, I mean, I went back and, I looked at pictures when I thought I was the healthiest and the best I was physically. I was 185 pounds, so I was like 220 or 222 pounds. I said, I got to get down to 185. And for me, I don't know, diets never work. For me, the one thing that works is I'm a little crazy and, I mean, the thing that works for me is discipline, okay? So the thing that works for me is OMAD, 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day, or, so basically what I do now is I have breakfast at the nursing home, and then I have dinner at around 6:15, and I might have a piece of fruit or two or a handful of nuts during the day, but that's about it. But I like this because it's a goal. It's something to work on. It's something that you can see every day. My daughter says, "Don't weigh yourself every day." No, I want to see the progress, whether I'm making progress or whatever every day. So, yeah, I mean, I have gone from 220. I'm right at 200 pounds now. So I've gotten down to 199, 199.6. I mean, I like getting on the scale and seeing 199.6, and the next day 199.4, and always a little bit further, always self-improvement, always making yourself better. Now, if an old fogey like me can have goals, planning, objective, and work on it, and discipline, and all of that, certainly you young folks in your 20s and your 30s and your 40s with so much of your life ahead of you should be willing to do the little bit extra that it takes. And it's just a little bit extra. It's just a little bit extra. If you work those 50 hours, 40 hours to pay your bills, 10 hours for your investments, you have that money, you study your condos, you do that, you buy a condo, 2 years, you know the thing. Go to success.org. I got all the courses and the apps there. Everything is free for you to show you just how to do it, and then you got to do it. That's all you got to do. If an old man like me can still look forward and say, I don't want to be in a nursing home in 10 years. Maybe that'll be a good thing. But right now I'm thinking, I want to be in a nursing home in 20 years. I want to be like my father. I want to do that. I want to learn from the people around me, and I want to grow as a person, and I want to have a lot of things to look forward to. This fall, I'm going to Malta with my nephew. I mean, I've really been to a lot of places in the world, never been to Malta. And then we're going to go over to Sicily. I've never been to Sicily. I mean, I've been all over Italy, but I was never in the boot. So, I mean, these are things that I'm looking forward to. And this is what I want for you in your life. So you have things to look forward to. I mean, when you're younger, your main thing is to taking care of you and your family, and then maybe getting a second home and be able to take vacations and all that. How do you get that? You got to have the success mindset. You can't just be on the treadmill doing the same thing over and over again. I mean, even if you're a cop driving around, I mean, you say, I'm going to drive around for the next 20. No. You can be doing more than that. Okay, whatever you're doing, you can have another job. There's so many firemen in my town who have contracting business. They're firemen and then they're contractors and they're doing that and they're buying, this is what you got to always thinking. Do you want to be a hairdresser? You want to work for somebody? You want to have your own business, your own jewelry store? You want to write songs? Whatever it is, you can research, find people who have been successful doing it, and you can do it. Always looking forward. So, are you old? Well, chronologically, I may be old, but mentally, I'm always thinking of the future, learning from the past, and thinking and planning for the future. And that's what I want for you. I want you to have a wonderful life of purpose, passion, peace, and prosperity. I'm your Papa Bill.